Sam Goodman is dead set sick of talking about now you're in a way and titles and boxing. And fair enough, too. He's been ranked number one. Two cut eyes, broken hand last year against Warrawood. It's just been like he's so close to getting the biggest shot of his life and a 7-figure payday, but just hasn't quite got there, and he's absolutely sick. And it looks like Inouye is not really talking about Sam Goodman either, because Inouye outlined his 3-fight plan for the next 9 months or so, maybe even 12 months. And that goes MJ in September into Nick Ball, apparently, WBA featherweight champ, and then Junto Nakatani back at super bantamweight. Nakatani coming up from bantamweight. So I don't know whether our Inouye Goodman fight comes off, but the word around fight week this week is that if Sam Goodman comes through this fight well, uninjured and everything, he'll be looking for an interim WBO or IBF super bantamweight fight as Inouye goes on to MJ. But yeah, it's boxing politics. Anything could happen. I don't think they've agreed to that yet. They need to work that out once Sam gets through this fight. And it's a tough fight. If you think Cesar Vaca is a tougher fight than a lot of people are giving him credit for. I don't know if you've seen much of him, but he's got pedigree. He sparred in a way. They went 6 rounds every time they sparred. He was on a Floyd Mayweather undercard, and he's had sort of connections with Canelo's camp as well. So it's a tough fight for Sam.
So if Sam wins, then they'll petition to get that Inouye fight being the mandatory, and if Inouye doesn't fight him, then they'll petition to fight for an interim.
Yeah, I think if Sam wins, they'll petition to fight for an interim. I would say that's more likely to be an IBF. Although the WBO dropped him down to 2, I think, after the second eye injury. I've been told that if he wins tomorrow or tonight, whenever you're watching, if he wins on Wednesday, he could go back up to number 1 with the WBO. Inouye goes on to fight Akhmadaliev. Sam Goodman's camp will push for an interim title fight, which could come on Tim Tszyu card in Vegas, which also features Manny Pacquiao and Isaac Cruz. Would happen, as you know, it's boxing. It often doesn't happen.
What about Harry Garside? His return this week. He's got his critics, he's got his fans. What have you made a return of Harry Garside so far this week?
Very cool, calm and collected, old Harry. Ahmed Reda tried to bait him, tried to draw him into a war of words yesterday, and Garside pretty well shut him down. Talking about Ahmed's record. Yeah, look, Harry will beat Charlie Bell fairly easily. I think Bell's like a $12 outsider, something crazy like that. So he's gonna, it's almost just a get back, settling fight for Harry. Ahmed Reda, I was mid-interview with Ahmed yesterday when Pete Matrevsky told him that if he wins on Wednesday, he'll fight Billy Polkinghorne for the Australian lightweight title. I'm told Billy Polkinghorne will be at the fights and might even be in commentary to get a front row seat to Ahmed and Harry's fights. Now, if Ahmed and Billy fight, now that's a cracker. I don't know who wins that. It's an absolute belter, but the winner of that will have something to put on the table for Harry Garside, which is what he called for at the presser on Monday.
What did we make of Ahmed Reda and Garside going back and forth yesterday? Garside is he's a name, and these guys will want to fight him.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Like it's good for Ahmed's profile. He's had 4 or 5 fights. Generally, you don't have that sort of, you're not getting that much attention with 4 or 5 fights. But he's calling out, the returning Harry Garside, bronze medalist, the tragic Olympic story last year. You latch yourself onto a name like Garside, and try and make some waves, and he's certainly done that. There was highlights yesterday, headlines yesterday from the presser. Garside told me about 2-3 weeks ago that he doesn't want to entertain a fight with Ahmed because he's just trying to make his name off his own, which makes sense as well. But it does seem like a great fight to look forward to and start building towards. If and when they do fight, it's one of the biggest domestic grudge matches you can put together. The Golden Boy against Armadita. What was the question? What were we talking about? Fundora Zoo, the rematch.
Yes, it's a masterstroke from the guys at No Limit, or someone's pulled a great maneuver here.
Yeah, and like in terms of storylines, it's perfect, right? You go back to the scene of the crime. It looked like a crime scene the last time they fought. We're going back to Vegas. It's a world title rematch. I do think it's dangerous just to expect him to pick up where he left off before the cut. Now, I think, and no one I've spoken to has disagreed that another 2 or 3 rounds and Tszyu would have knocked Fundora out, I believe, without the head cut. It's dangerous to think that Tim will just pick up where he left off. Fundora would have made adjustments and adaptations. He's defended his belt. He's going to be a lot more confident. He knows what Tim's going to come with. They'll prepare differently. Probably forget that Fundora only had 10 days, 11 days to prepare for that match as well. So dangerous to expect Tim to just go in there and, another 4 rounds, he'll knock him out. But in terms of storyline, getting the career back on track, it's perfect. It makes so much sense.
What are you hearing about Tim's prep for this fight? Do you think he'll train over in the States, or does he train back here? What are you hearing?
It's a good question. We haven't. I was expecting them to put Tim up for some media over the last week or so. I think they're just trying to get the card locked away with PBC over there before they start building it up. And obviously they've got the Goodman card as well. But I don't know. To see both of the guys that Team Zoo brought in to help him prepare for Fundora, those tall fellas, they're both fighting. One fought last week and one's fighting this week. That Adriel Holmes just lost to Erickson Lubin. And I think his name's Michael Fox. He's fighting this weekend on a card as well. So, the Holmes didn't put up much of a fight against Lubin, if I'm being honest, in that IBF World Title Eliminator just a couple of days ago. So we'll see what Fox looks like. But yeah, I don't know. I think when you were preparing for a fighter like Joey Spencer, no, not to discredit Spencer, but you can train in Sydney. You can get Australian sparring partners. But when you're going into a world title fight with Fundora, who beat you last year, maybe you want to go overseas. Maybe you want to test a few things out and try getting a few new looks elsewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim goes overseas again ahead of this fight.
What's would your read be on how important this fight is for Australian boxing? I mean, Tim Tszyu with a belt, you'd have Jai Opetaia if he defends. Tim Tszyu, 2-time world champion. You've got Bosis in there against Hitchens. He's a chance. How big would this win be for Australian boxing?
Justice Herney in the mix as well. I think. I think Justice is.
What about Justice? Yes.
Every chance of causing an upset in that WBA interim heavyweight title fight. It's massive for Australian boxing as a whole. It's kind of make or break for Tim Tszyu, right? Like he loses this one. It's tough to know where to go, what to do next. So he needs to win this one. But yeah, in the space of what'll it be, sort of 5 or 6 weeks, you'll have Jai Opetaia, Justice Herney, Kambosos, Tim Tszyu. Somewhere around there, we'll have Liam Paro back in action. Liam Wilson's not far off. Sam Goodman possibly for an interim on the same card. Exciting times, man.
Yeah.
Last year was pretty rough in terms of Australians in world title fights, apart from Jai Opetaia and think Sky Nicholson. There were a lot of losses this part of the world, but a chance over the next 2 months to put a few of those wrongs right again.
Now, Nikita Zoo, we heard that he's been delayed as well until around August. What are you hearing on Nikita?
Every time you check in on what's happening with Nikita Zoo, it's the hand isn't quite right. He's had a setback, and so it's gone back to August, which will mean he's out for 12 months. So yeah, I mean, I've been saying that, we were up there at the gym. I think it was Zoo Spencer Fight Week, and Nikita was training, and we watched him for, I reckon, 2 hours training, and he did not punch a single thing. He was, push-ups, shadow boxing, skipping, all sorts of various boxing related things, but he didn't put on a pair of boxing gloves. He was wearing 2 golf gloves for some reason. I think you got an answer to that. And that's as close as he's come. That was probably a month ago, but over a month ago, maybe he's come on a little bit, but it feels like with an injury like that, you want it to be at 100% before you start going into any kind of serious training, sparring, things like that.
Yeah, I mentioned it before. Sunny, Jai Opetaia, 2 big fights on the same week, on the same day.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on what those guys are doing?
Well, first of all, we need to get a watch party. If we're all on the Gold Coast for Jai Opetaia's fight, we need an early morning watch party for Justice Honey, whose fights, what'll it be, sort of 7 or 8 in the morning on DAZN against Fabio Wardley. I'd love to go to that fight. A heavyweight world title fight featuring an Australian. That's not in, where was Lucas Brown? Chechnya, and not against Klitschko, wherever that fight was. Pretty rare. But I think Justice every chance of pulling off an upset. Obviously, Frank Warren, Queensbury, they're trying to position their man Moses Itauma for a run at a title. And then we have Usyk and Dubois a couple of weeks later, and then Jai Opetaia. Surely he makes light work of this Claudio Squeo, who I will be brutally honest right now, I haven't even seen throw a punch. I'll obviously watch some highlights and footage as the fight gets closer, but fully expect Jai, and it's not a knock on Jai. He wants to fight the absolute cream of the crop in the division. He wants to unify, but Squeo is the man in front of him, and I hope he gets him out of there within 4 rounds. Can he beat his David Nika record and batter this bloke?
Mate, I'm hearing that you got some good insight on this potential domestic matchup with Paul Gallen and Sonny Bill Williams. I saw Sonny I saw he was heading overseas for 8 weeks, possibly doing a training camp for 8-week training camp yesterday. What do you know about this fight?
Well, the word was that Sonny Bill was going to be training with Jai Opetaia's dad on the Gold Coast. That was the plan at one stage. I don't know whether that's the way. I saw Sonny post to Instagram saying he's leaving his kids for 8 weeks. So obviously training has started now. I spoke to Paul Gallen about a week ago, and he still didn't know where the fight was going to be. He's still wondering. Just waiting on final confirmation on all those kind of details. But he's ready to go. Gal's ready to go. He's ready to fight. Still furious that the fight's only over 2 minutes rather than 3. Although I think they both have fought over 2-minute rounds in the past. I think Gal's sort of collection of NRL fights were over 2 minutes, but you just jog my memory. Actually, we might have to follow up on where Sonny Bill is actually training. Is he going overseas, or is he going up to the Gold Coast with Tszyu Opetaia? I'm not sure.
Maybe he was just heading up to the Gold Coast then.
So Jai told me that about a month ago, that Sonny was going up there, and then Gal said to me last week he heard that Sonny was heading up to the Gold Coast to train. So could be
There
it.
you go.
Um,
Was
yeah,
your Jai, Joseph Parker, and Justice Hooney have all made comments about this fight?
yeah. So, I it started off. I think I need to explain this because
Yeah.
I wrote it the way it was said, but people just take it a little bit. So that's the way it goes. But I asked Jai about this fight because I thought Jai might say, "Hey, this is bullshit. I've battled away for so many years, and it's taken me, a decade to start making money and become a world champion." I thought he might call the whole thing a crock of shit, but he said, "Look, mate, it doesn't take any money out of my pocket. They're bringing more eyes to boxing. Um, when he was coming up and when Tszyu was coming up and when so many other fighters were coming up, they were all on, well, a lot of them were on Paul Gallen undercards getting exposure. So he didn't knock the fight. He just said that 2 minute rounds for a main event on pay-per-view where you're asking people to pay however many dollars. He just said it's soft. And he said it jokingly, which is what I wrote, but people just take that he's, calling GallenSonny Bill soft. And then Joseph Parker, he saw that story, and he chimed in as well and said, "Yeah, if you want to be legit, you got to fight 3 rounds." And yeah, Gal's still fired up about it. He wants 3 rounds, not two. I think everyone tuning in would want 3 rounds, not two as well.
What are your thoughts on this fight? It's moving the needle, as we would say on the socials, the TikTok, the YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah,
It'll cop
good views.
a lot of criticism, but people will watch the fight. But it's looking like it'll land around that same time of Tim's fight in Vegas. So I don't
Hmm.
know what sort of coverage it gets from the boxing journos.
July 16,
Yeah.
that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that a lot of the sort of dedicated fight crew will be in Vegas, but then again, it's one of those fights that has broader appeal, right? Like
Mm.
you'll have rugby league, rugby union fans tuning in. You can already see it's got that widespread appeal, which makes it so compelling. Like I said to Jai when I was talking to him about it is before it was made, or if I go back 10 years, I've been clamoring to see this fight. I really wanted to see them, you know, prime physical condition, both in their playing careers fight. I think it would have been great, and I think they would have done it over 3 rounds if it was 2015 or 2016. Yes, if I go back 3 months, I'm not trying to see this fight. I'm not trying to get it made. Now that it's made, I'm going to tune in. I want to know who wins, and I don't know who wins. It's all you can ask for, really. So I look, to be quite honest, I will watch it and I'll get pumped up to watch it. Um, and saying that, like, do I desperately need it? No, I don't. I can live without it. But now that it's happening, fuck yeah, it's two heavyweights going to punch on. Like, fuck, what's not to like?
Where shall we watch it in Las Vegas? Are you hosting a watch party?
Well, if you do the Justice Honey watch party, I'll do the SBW Gallen watch party or I don't know. Can we get it at one of the sports bars at the casino over there? I'm not
Although
sure. I
that's
remember
what was that place that we went to at the MGM lobby, the Losers Bar or something? Was it?
Losers Bar. Yeah, yeah. They will. I remember watching. I think in Vegas or in America, one of the sports channels they get one NRL game a week. I remember watching the Parramatta Eels, and it would have been at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, or something Vegas time, and you're at one of the sports books which have all the screens. And we're about 5 minutes into the game when they closed the bloody thing because they needed to clean and vacuum. So we're standing around the corner trying to watch the football at two in the morning on a Thursday or Friday or whatever it was last year, just trying to get some NRL in Vegas. So surely we can do better than that this time.
Yes, can't wait, mate. Well, what's the next 24 hours look like for you as you prepare for this fight tomorrow night?
You know what I want to do? I'm going to give Shotgun Shannon O'Connell a call to try and talk up some Jazzy Parr rematch or just Well, it's just thoughts. Just get her stirring the pot a little bit, maybe, because I'm told that uh, Shotgun's team offered Jazzy Parr the rematch, and it was turned down. I think they offered a couple of times as well. So she might have a bit to say leading into this fight tomorrow. Um, what else? Other than that, I'm looking forward to the heavyweights on the card, and the Munir Fatty Wade Ryan fight. I think it's going to be a cracker as well.
Yes. All right, mate. Well, we'll see you there. And where can we find all your articles and
Oh, on the internet, mate. Code Sports. If you're in Sydney, it's on the Tally. If you're in Melbourne, the Herald Sun. And if you're in Brisbane, Courier Mail. Uh, I've dropped heaps of stuff that I can't use on for work on my social media channels as well, TikTok and Instagram, largely. So check them out there if you don't already.